Hey everybody, it's Chris Lamm. Happy New Year to you. In this video, we're going to talk about what to expect with housing in 2023. Now, last year in 2022, we saw the lowest rates in history at the beginning of the year, which doubled by the end of the year. This was right on the heels of the craziest 2 years we saw in housing, where people were moving all over the country, putting a lot of pressure on pricing and driving prices up. Now, at the end of the year in 2022, just last month, we have seen a different story. There are less buyers out there. There are people that are struggling to qualify as rates are now higher. We want to talk about a couple key differences between this market and the one, say, in 2007, which is a comparison a lot of people are making. There were 4 million homes for sale back then. There are 1 million homes for sale today with 14 million more households. So there are a lot of people that need to buy a house and need to rent a house, and there's no lack of interest. But there's two reasons why we are seeing record low sales. In December alone, it was one of the lowest months of homes sold nationwide that we've seen in decades. The first reason is affordability. A lot of the low to moderate income first-time buyers are finding it more difficult to qualify to purchase a home. The second reason is inventory. Now, a lot of people expected there would be a lot of homes for sale as rates went up, because that's generally what happens. But in this market, people have to remember there's a huge percentage of homeowners that have 2 and 3% mortgage rates. They don't want to sell right now. They like their rate. There's also a large percentage of people that own their home free and clear. And in the month of November and December, we've seen a decline in inventory in most places in America, specifically here in Shasta County. And what's alarming is how little closings or homes sold there has been. So the next thing I want to talk about is new construction. This is one way that we can increase inventory and help this market to recover. But one of the challenges is many builders nationwide, certainly here in our area, have tapped the brakes, if not fully slammed on the brakes, with developing new construction and building new houses just because of the uncertainty of next year. So what we really have right now is a crash in inventory. There's just not a lot of homes for sale. I saw an article in Redfin this week where an economist said that in this quarter, the first quarter of 23, we could see inventory drop to levels that are the lowest in the last 50 to 100 years. I know that sounds crazy. Go look at it yourself. But that's certainly what we are seeing right now, is a very stubborn housing market where, yes, prices have come down in some areas more than others, but they are crazy and just being resilient, and people are still struggling to get the house at the price that they want because there's simply still a lot of people that are willing to pay for a home. Now let's talk about pricing for a second. On average, in many areas in California, home prices have dropped from the peak of last year to the current month in January by somewhere between 5 and 10%. They may even drop a little bit more this year. That all depends on what happens with interest rates. Interest rates are going to go down this year by what most economists are saying. Fannie Mae is saying they'll be at 4.5 at some point. And if you look at this graph that I pull up here, you can see here that inflation is correlated with the 30-year fixed interest rate. When inflation comes down, interest rates will come down as well. And so what we're really looking for here to see a good sign in people returning to affordability, housing continuing to thrive, is inflation coming down, and that's really what our Federal Reserve is keeping his eye on. So these are just a couple of the things that we're seeing right now in the housing market. There are some incredible deals right now. You know, in the fourth quarter of 2022, you had sellers that were really trying to hold on to the price of 21. In the first month of 23, I will tell you that sellers are becoming much more realistic. We're seeing a lot of sellers who are taking offers below list price and paying for closing costs and for things like a temporary buy down to help a buyer get into a house with a lower rate. So there are some amazing opportunities right now for people that are in this market. If there's any questions you guys have, please feel free to leave a comment. I hope you guys are doing well, and we'll talk to you soon.